And now our new friend Marcus House with a short summary of what SpaceX has been up to over the past couple weeks. Marcus has a fabulous YouTube channel where he covers all things SpaceX. You should head over there and check it out for his amazing weekly coverage. Marcus, take it away.
Thanks, Zach and Jesse. It has been an incredibly eventful month for SpaceX. There's a huge amount of excitement currently around the design and development of the new Starship prototypes at Boca Chica, Texas. Going back just a little further, the developments seem to be going well with one of the latest versions of the ship, which was named the SN1, not to be confused by the earlier Mark I Starship that met its own destructive end back in November last year. A few test tanks later, and the SN1 Starship here took shape. Sadly, just over a month ago, this iteration of the ship failed to hold the necessary pressure to make it to the next stage of testing. That event resulted in quite an impressive explosion here. At the time, it was thought it wouldn't proceed to a test flight due to a few issues anyway, but some might argue it was indeed the first to fly. It turned out that the part at fault here was the thrust puck structure that sits at the bottom of the oxygen tank. This structure is particularly important because it's there to interface with the three super powerful Raptor engines that will push this huge 9-meter wide beast into the sky. That thrust puck structure failed quite spectacularly, which led to the entire tank section just launching itself into the air. This was totally unexpected as well, so it was back to the drawing board with a new test tank which was dubbed the SN2. Fortunately, that much smaller test tank has since completed its pressure test successfully, first using water and then again using cryogenic temperatures with liquid nitrogen. Around 2 weeks or so ago, that test tank vessel was taken back from the launch site to the construction site. As to the fate of that smaller vessel, we're unsure about it. We all think it's likely to be deconstructed at some point now that it's served its purpose. So that brings us to the SN3 Starship, which is what is being currently worked on. Over the last few weeks, the various components have all come together for assembly. The current plan is that this vessel will be taking at least a short flight with the 3 Raptor engines, which is going to be incredible to see. Of course, all that is just Starship development. There's also been Falcon 9 launches and news over the last month as well. We had the incredible commercial resupply service 20 mission taking supplies up to the International Space Station. This is SpaceX's very last Cargo Dragon version 1 mission, and wow, has this vehicle done a wonderful job over the last 8 years or so. The next Cargo Dragon version 2 design will be a variation of the Crew Dragon vessel that astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley will be flying hopefully within a few months. This is for sure going to be a huge highlight of the year for SpaceX. It'll be the first time astronauts have flown from the United States into low Earth orbit since the space shuttle retired back in 2011. Since then, all flights have been done on Russia's Soyuz. Now, the next version of the Dragon capsule doesn't have the same deployable solar arrays that we've seen with the Dragon version 1. The solar cells are now actually placed on the trunk instead, which simplifies the design. On top of that, it won't need to be berthed with the space station with the robotic arm like all previous Cargo Dragon missions. The version 2 can dock autonomously like we witnessed last year with the Crew Dragon Demo 1 mission. Now, just recently as well, it has been announced by NASA that SpaceX are to be the first US commercial provider under the Gateway Logistics Services contract to deliver cargo, experiments, and other supplies to the Lunar Gateway. This is a big deal, and this illustration labelled as the Dragon XL shows the unheard of vessel being deployed from a Falcon Heavy's second stage in high Earth orbit. This is going to be incredible, and of course this news is very fresh, so we're hoping to hear a lot more about the Dragon XL in the very near future. Now finally, just a little over a week ago, the latest Starlink launch sent up another batch of 60 satellites into orbit. This was the first 5th flight of a Falcon 9 booster ever, and these Starlink missions really pushed the limits of the Falcon 9 rocket to the max. Sadly, that was the booster's last flight, and it was lost somewhere after its re-entry burn, and it didn't make the typical drone ship landing that we've all become so accustomed to seeing. It almost seems strange now when one is lost, such has been the progress and success of SpaceX. Elon Musk quickly provided an official reason on this, saying that there was an early engine shutdown on the ascent, but it didn't affect the objective or the mission in any way. We are now getting much closer to a working Starlink broadband satellite network that can be utilized initially by the northern United States and Canada, and it will be very interesting to test all of this out when the network comes online. So yes, that brings us us all up to date with SpaceX news for the moment. I cover SpaceX happenings in a lot more detail each week on my channel, so if you're looking for in-depth news, come and visit. I'll be back here soon with some more exciting updates, so yes, thanks again, Zach and Jesse, for letting me drop by here. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Marcus. That was awesome news. So exciting to hear all of this fun space stuff. Thanks so much for watching this Now You Know clip.
Head over to Now You Know channel for full episodes of Tesla Time news and in depth.
And if you want to treat yourself and your family to something amazing, check this out.
Jesse and I have been enjoying Masterclass, where we've been learning all sorts of fun topics from the masters themselves. Chess from Garry Kasparov.
Scientific thinking with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Space exploration from Chris Hadfield.
Design and architecture from Frank Gehry.
And so many more.
Click the link down below to support our channel and experience what it's like to learn from the masters at Masterclass.